Hello and welcome to Building the Premier Accounting Firm. This podcast is actually dedicated to accounting professionals to help them start, have, and build a successful accounting, bookkeeping, and tax business. I'm your host, Roger Knecht, and I've been doing this for basically 20 plus years, working with accounting professionals to help them start and build their businesses with confidence and competence. Now, the podcast itself, we are dedicated to providing you each and every week with episodes that address various things such as marketing and sales, going out and getting paid what you're worth, pricing your services effectively, doing the onboarding with confidence, and creating quality relationships with your clients. We're talking about things related to growing your business and getting the clients you deserve. We're addressing things such as working efficiently and profitably so that you're getting paid what you're worth. And then lastly, offering quality accounting services so that you can in fact be the premier accounting firm in the area. So I invite you to actually listen in, take advantage of the other episodes, and at the best, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll be able to notify you of the various things as they become released. Now, each of the episodes that we have are ones where I am either interviewing guests and speaking with experts in the fields, having them share their experiences, or it's with me giving you insights and things to consider as you're running your business. Now, for today, it happens to be an episode that I'm quite excited to deliver. This is one where I'm going to be sharing with you things that I have found to be very, very helpful when speaking with business owners about the services that we provide, especially when we're getting more in the consultative type realm. Now, in this, there's a lot of confusion. I think there's misuses of the terms, and there's good reason for it because I think some people use these interchangeably. But there is a lot to be said when we consider whether or not you're acting as a mentor, an advisor, a coach. What we want to do is define today what those terms actually mean and which role you're actually planning to perform and be for your clients. Now, I'm going to look at it from two different perspectives. One, that being you're receiving these types of services and how it is you're going to benefit as you're the recipient. But the other is then performing these services for a client and actually getting paid for this type of work when actually providing quality advisory, consultative, or mentoring type services. We're going to define these here in a moment, but just to be all encompassing, that's what we're going to be doing today. So why don't we go ahead and grab a paper and pen, and I think you're going to be wanting to write these things down to reference them in a future context. But we're going to go ahead and first describe these various, let's say, definitions or terms so that you can at least have some context. And then we're going to discuss them both from the perspective of you and you're receiving those as well as you performing these for a potential client. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of get the terms out there so that we can all be on the same page and use the same words interchangeably or specifically. The first one is that of a mentor. I'm sure each of us have had an opportunity in our lives to be mentored. It's where we see someone who's accomplished what we're striving to achieve, and as a mentor, they've taken it upon themselves to kind of guide or direct us, kind of sharing their wealth of wisdom with us so that we can learn from their experiences and be more effective in what we're trying to do, maybe perhaps even accomplish it more quickly. Now, as mentors, one of the things that I want you to understand is those we typically learn from being around them. They're people that we're kind of experiencing the wisdom that they have to share simply because we're in their presence. Now, this is where you'll oftentimes hear that we are the sum of the five main people that we hang around with, or other people will say we are the average of the five people that we hang around with. That's to say that usually the five people are made up of two that we're aspiring to learn from and be like, and there's two that we're with that are learning from us, and we're just in the middle trying to be both the learner and the helper. The other is the sum of, and it's just simply to say that when we hang around with individuals, we tend to adopt and incorporate into our lives those tendencies, those beliefs, those ideas that the five most common people in our lives have, and it's their influence that kind of dictates or determines who we ultimately become. So that's why, as parents, we're so very much interested in the friends that our children have, and more importantly, in the world of business, it's those five people that are influencing us to either strive and achieve the goals that we have, or they're holding us back and discouraging us and being the naysayers of what we intend to accomplish. So with regards to mentors, A mentor is someone that has typically achieved what we're striving to accomplish, and so they have those experiences and the advice we're looking for. The next is going to be that of an advisor. Now, an advisor, this is very important because these are the people we want to listen to. They've got words of wisdom. They're typically someone that we may be paying to give us the advice, where we're actually having them teach us what it is they know. And it's that expert advice or information that we're using to make more informed, better decisions. So they're not just like a mentor, someone that we're just hanging around with and watching and observing. This is someone we're actually paying for insights, paying for someone to train us and teach us. The next is that of a consultant. This third person is someone that, as a consultant, we're typically paying them to perform a task or a function that they are an expert at. And rather than employing them, we're bringing them in an expert capacity to maybe do something that we don't have the time or the expertise to perform. So as a consultant, they may come in and give us advice. They may come in and mentor us a little bit, but literally we're paying them to perform a task. And so as a consultant, they're coming in and getting paid, as you would anticipate, to do something very specific and have a particular result attached to it. So we've got so far mentors, advisors, consultants, and the last is going to be that of a coach. A coach is someone that is meant to help us learn and understand and apply various things in our situations. Now, I think a coach is a very important distinction to make from the others, because the role of the coach is more than that of just being a mentor. They're not just someone we're hanging out with and trying to glean experiences from. They're more than an advisor in the sense that they're obviously teaching us things, but they're going to take it a step further, and with that, hold us accountable and ensure that we're actually doing the things that we're saying are the priority. And the other thing that's very important about the coaches is they ask a lot of questions, which is different than an advisor who's really more teaching us and educating us as to something. The coach is doing the same thing, but through more questions as they go through the interactions with us. So let's go ahead and just try and discuss these a little bit more in detail. And as we go into each, I'm sure they're going to become much more clear in your own mind as to what you perhaps may want or need, and also which it is that you may want to become and perform for your clients. So with regards to the coach, we're going to begin up there, and I'm going to give a definition. This is out of Webster's Dictionary. It actually reads that a coach is a private tutor or one who instructs or trains. A consultant is someone who consults another or gives professional services to another. An advisor is someone who gives someone a recommendation on what should be done. A mentor is a trusted counselor or guide. And I think that concisely says what I've just been explaining. Now, with all this in mind, one of the things that I want to just kind of reflect upon is in our own lives, you may be able to look back and see mentors, people that maybe in your youth were people that impressed you, people that you either aspired to become like because of their accomplishments. Maybe professionally, they were in a career that you later wanted to become. And in fact, maybe that's what you're doing even today. It's generally, as a mentor, someone that is a family figure, someone that's maybe an aunt, an uncle, a father, a mother. It's a grandfather, grandmother. It's someone that is pretty close in proximity that becomes a mentor. Fortunately for some of us, we were able to be exposed to teachers that kind of took us under their wing and mentored us. We didn't pay them. We weren't being necessarily taught by them in specific principles, but we were actually exposed to them, and just through our being around them, got to see who they were and what they have become, and we aspired to be like them. Now, these mentors in our lives, I hope you can actually write down right next to this word mentor, an individual that you would consider as that inspirational person in your life that really did make a difference, someone that really influenced you either from a distance, someone that you read about, someone that you studied and researched and you just were admiring from afar, or literally someone that was in your day-to-day life that you were able to say, this person inspired me, they empowered me with confidence, they gave me the assurance to be who I am. Well, that person was mentoring you, and we hopefully have these people that we can reflect back on and at least recognize. For me, one person professionally happens to be a gentleman by the name of Marv Curtis. There were so many things that I learned from Marv. He was a vice president in a company that I once worked for. As a vice president, he took basically employees in his areas of the company, and he created a management training program that I was privileged to go through. And from that, went up through some of the management ranks. And through all those interactions with him, I felt that he intentionally mentored with the idea of, I need those people that are in my departments to become better. And it wasn't that there was a specific program we were going through. It wasn't as if there was a training that we were experiencing. It was just he wanted to be around us and just kind of share his insights through the interactions that we were having. And I'm to this day indebted to him for that. Other mentors I had were in the scouting programs. Was very much involved in scouting in my youth, and later in my adult years gave back through scouting. And so the scouting program for me was a wonderful opportunity to basically be around people that, yes, I had the merit badges and such that I could work on, but the scouting leaders, it was just the experience, going to activities with them and getting to see how they interacted with others. That's where I was mentored. And then lastly, I would also make mention of my youth church programs. I had the blessings of being with some youth people, ministers and such that really impacted my life in a positive way, showed me the goodness of people and helped me aspire to be better. And so these are very specific people in my mind that I can give thanks to, and I hope that you can do the same. The next that I shared with you is obviously that of an advisor. The advisor, I think an interchangeable term for that is a teacher. And this is someone that either you've paid for a program to participate in, you've paid for a course, a instruction that you're listening to the teacher, and they're kind of giving you this wealth of information, things to know, things to do. And as they're teaching, it might be on a one-to-one level, but more often than not, it's in a group setting. And as an advisor or a teacher, they're basically giving us this wealth of wisdom, of information, lessons learned, and they're teaching it to us. And whether or not we do anything with it, it's up to us. Whether or not we go to that class or finish the program, it's up to us. As an advisor, yes, we're paying them, but typically what it is their job's to teach it. Their job is to hopefully give it to us in a way that we can apply it. But that's where it stops. Whether or not we do anything with it is up to us. And so as an advisor or teacher, there's many great ones out there. You kind of like read books from these people. Books are typically the way the advisor kind of captures their information and distills it in a way that we can now actually try and learn or apply it. There's programs out there, and all of these advisors are basically saying, I've figured out something. I've unlocked a secret here that I'd like to put into a process or a system that others can emulate. And that's what we're looking for from the advisors. Now, when it comes to the consultants, typically these are people that get paid doing what they're good at. And so they're generally brought in on a project basis. These are people that are trying to actually help with a specific need. And as consultants, they're typically able to say, look, you have a situation, you have something that I'm an expert at, you have something that I feel I can make a difference in, something that I could do quicker than you, I can do it better than you. And so as consultants, we typically pay them to come in and kind of accelerate what it is we're dealing with, resolve it, get it done quicker and so forth. And fortunately, I've had the opportunity to bring in, especially in my company, people that are experts, and we all do it. We pay somebody to do something that we're willing to outsource. It's typically somebody that we're willing to say, you've got a better knack for this. It's in your wheelhouse. It's a skill set that you've either studied or experienced that you can do for me better than I could for myself. And in all honesty, it's probably something I'm not excited to do anyway. So this is someone that we bring in, and they're able to leverage what they've got and help us in hopefully a shorter period of time and better than we could have done ourselves. So let's talk now about coaches. Honestly, the coaches that I've had in my life, the people that I've paid to coach and advise me, are, I think, really kind of life-changing. So let's just talk a little bit about coaches in the context of what they are. They typically can be mentors. They can be someone who's done it before. That's not necessarily always the case, and I'll show why I say that. The next thing is they typically are advisors, meaning a good coach, that is, has a system or a process that you can follow. Sometimes coaches can just be people that kind of tap into their life lessons, and as you deal with situations, they kind of pull out from a drawer the things that they've experienced and things they've learned and say, well, you're dealing with this situation, so let's pull out this tool and let's use this to address your need. That's less structured. It's not as deliberate or specific. It's more as needed. And so that is appropriate. It's great to have a coach that has those things, those tools, those experiences to draw from as we deal with certain things that are unexpected. But a better coach has a system that they put you through, a process that you're going to experience that has a very specific deliverable at the end. Now, with regards to coaches, they're oftentimes not consultants. And I want to make this distinction very, very clear. Coaches are not consultants in the sense that they're not going to do the work. They're not there to do it for you. The coach is meant to help you do the work. So by definition, they're not a consultant. A coach is someone that is helping us through the mentoring, through the advising, in the sense that they're teaching. But they're more important as coaches in two elements. An excellent coach, a phenomenal coach, beyond the mentoring and the advising and teaching that they're doing, have two elements that you want to be very clear on. And it's the fact that they ask excellent questions and they hold us accountable. The excellent questions are things where they're able to, through their perspective, see things differently than what we see. They're able to remove themselves from the situation that we may be in and help us see it differently than we're experiencing it. It's through their questions that we may have epiphanies or ahas as to things that we didn't consider. And so it's those insights that are so important from the coach coming in and helping us see things differently than we're perhaps experiencing or dealing with them. The second thing is, because of the coach, we're able to also prioritize better. They're asking the right questions to help us more clearly see what matters most and what needs to be done next. And so the coach is able, through those questions, to help us prioritize. And then also, the coach is able to help us delegate. Sometimes what happens with the coach is they help us realize that it doesn't always have to be us doing the work. And so therefore, we're in a situation where we're wanting to actually then see who else can do this. And sometimes it's a matter of training. Okay, well, if I train them once or twice, then they can take care of this later on. And it's this coach that's giving us permission to let go. And oftentimes the coach is the one that empowers us to make that change. Now, one of the things that I want to emphasize here, truly emphasize, is that with this discussion we're having today, you should be able to now stop misusing these terms and correctly ask for and describe the thing that you're looking for. Are you truly looking for or working with a mentor? Are you truly looking for or working with an advisor? Are you truly working with and paying a consultant? Are you truly working with and interacting with a coach? Now, on the coach level, just to kind of dive a little deeper into this, many people, especially in their youth, when whether you're athletic or like a debate coach, it's in schools that in our youth we typically experience coaches. These people are very, very, very helpful in helping us achieve things that we didn't realize were possible. They kind of push us to achieve things that really at the onset might have seemed unobtainable. Now, a great coach isn't necessarily someone who's done what you're trying to accomplish. And this is one of the distinguishing things that you'll notice about coaches. It's not that they got the award or accolade. It's not that they necessarily are better than you and therefore you're aspiring to catch up to them. Great coaches oftentimes, especially you can see this in the athletic world, aren't necessarily the ones that have achieved what it is you're trying to accomplish. So if you're in athletics, let's assume that you're trying to, as a youth, get this state championship for something. It may not be that the coach had themselves achieved that state accomplishment and been that champion, but they have, however, the means to do it with you. Great coaches aren't necessarily the ones that have done it themselves is the point. Now, a great coach, they can be very motivating, very inspiring. They actually can, through their tools and resources, they can actually get the perspective that's needed for us to see things, our own potential, like we've never seen it before. A great coach just basically comes in and complements what's happening in that either team environment or unique situation that you're in. And so I hope if especially you're an athletics person, somebody who likes sports, you can see just time and time again, great coaches that really inspired and helped the professional achieve something that they didn't realize possible before. And I don't know who comes to mind for you. Just off the cuff, I'm thinking of Tiger Woods and his father. His father did something with Tiger Woods that was just amazing. You've got Michael Jordan with his coaches, basically helping him achieve his greatness. And it's definitely through a lot of the effort that the individual persons put into it, but it's the coach that helps them tap into resources they didn't otherwise realize they had. So with that definition in mind, let's now flip this conversation from you actually looking for a mentor in your life, finding an advisor, some program, some system that you can learn and implement, rather than finding a consultant that can come in and work in your business, rather than you actually finding a coach and someone that can work with you to help you achieve the greatness you're trying to accomplish. Why don't we talk about you being one of these individuals for your clients? And what I'm referring to is you in your accounting firm, your accounting business, offering these same types of services. So let's kind of just go through the list again and see how this might apply. From a mentoring point of view, I would consider things like a mastermind group. It's where you with a group of other business owners get together, and as business owners, you meet regularly to just basically learn from one another. It's maybe a monthly luncheon that you're doing where you're able to share some of the things that you're experiencing in business. Maybe it's something that you're actually able to participate in where you're both giving and receiving in the interchange of ideas. And it's this peer interaction, business owner to business owner, that you're just helping one another. Now, it could be with other accounting professionals in your market. It could be other accounting professionals around the world, in the country, for example, that you're maybe in groups with, and you're just learning from one another. And it's just mentoring. It's literally, you're just kind of there to help and give back. And that's a beautiful thing, and I would encourage you to participate in those. A lot of people participate in a group that we have that I would encourage you to join, which is a Facebook group. It's a group called Accounting and Bookkeeping Tips. It's where we have accounting professionals who have their own accounting businesses, basically in a closed environment, just asking safe questions about challenges they're facing regarding accounting questions or business type questions with their clients. And it's astounding to me within this group how much everyone just helps. They collaborate. They just contribute to one another. And so if you're a person that does Facebook, I would definitely encourage you to consider joining the Accounting and Bookkeeping Tips group, and there just interact with your peers and see what things you can learn and help with, both giving and maybe receiving in the same vein. Now let's go to the next level, which is your ability to work as an advisor. Really, as an advisor, this is where some people actually say, as a business, you're a business, you may have things that you could teach your clients or potential clients. And so a lot of times what you'll see is accounting professionals will put on workshops. They'll do events with other professionals like a financial planner or some other service that complements your accounting work that you do. And you'll do workshops. And in these workshops, you'll actually have a presentation where you teach a concept. And as you're doing so, you're perceived as the expert for this. Some of the things that I've seen that not only I have done, but other accounting professionals is, you teach a QuickBooks class, you teach a business class, you teach a tax class. All of a sudden, business owners are coming in, they're learning from you and definitely seeing you as an expert. And therefore, you're an advisor to them because you're teaching them something they need to know. Now, in our business, we, for many years, this is pre-COVID, we were doing a monthly meeting. It was a workshop. We did it. It was a 2-hour event. And in that 2 hours, we gave two 40-minute presentations on business. And every single month, we had the business owners come and attend to learn things about their business. We addressed things that we're talking about, like margins and return on investment and sales funnels, so that we could see the ROI on marketing efforts resulting in revenue. We were just doing a number of things. Cash flow management was a popular one that we did. We did another one that was regarding payables and receivables and not being a bank. I mean, there were just a number of topics that we were able to, in this workshop, teach, and ultimately, as business owners attended, see us as experts. And so that's where we're advising. We're in that teacher capacity. They, in some instances, were comp tickets to attend. Others were paying to join and attend that meeting. So definitely a program or a system that people were participating in and benefiting from. Now, when it comes to consultants, I think we all have experience with this. Consultants is a common one is you go into a business and you set up their QuickBooks. I mean, that's just a great example. And it's where you're paid to come in and perform a very specific task. You're doing something that is going to be one and done. And as a project, it has a beginning and an end. And very much so, this is something that you can have a great deal of success with in your business, offering specific services that you're paid to perform that are more task or project in nature. Now, as a consultant, you're able to come in and maybe train staff, and in training them, get things up and running efficiently. You can set up the books, as I just mentioned. These are all consultative type services that you can use within your business to complement the already accounting services you're performing. The last is that of a coach. And this is where I think too often in a lot of the discussions I'm having with accounting professionals, we use the word advisory services. And this is where the big, I think, challenge exists for many accounting professionals, is because advisory, by definition, means you're teaching. You're the one with the answers. You have all the information. And therefore, when you think that you're offering advisory services, you're presuming that you have to be the expert and know all the answers. And you don't want to do that because you don't know that you actually know all the information. Therefore, you don't want to be an advisor. So you kind of steer away from offering these types of consultative services, and all of a sudden you're in a bind. I don't want that to be the case when you consider coaching services. When you become a business coach and you offer quality coaching services, your relationship is entirely different. Your role to come into your clients as they see you as their coach is to ask them the right questions. It's to go into their business, and especially with the accounting information that you have access to, is to go in and ask them questions about their business that maybe no one else is asking. These questions can actually help them realize maybe holes in their business model that they need to be addressing, things that they could be doing differently or better. Why are you selling this product? Which product has the greater margin? If you sold a product, which one makes you more money? Which is more profitable? What marketing efforts are you doing within the business that you feel actually make money? What marketing efforts actually result in the higher margin profit sales? You have the ability as the accounting professional to come in and ask very appropriate questions, none of which you may know the answers to. Now, some of these that I've just shared, you might actually have the answers to, but the point isn't that you know the answer. The question is do they know the answers? Because as they understand their business better, they're going to be making more informed business decisions. So your role, not as a mentor, your role, not as an advisor, your role, not as the consultant, but your role as the business coach to your clients, something that you're paid to do, is literally to ask the questions to help them see their business in a way that they've not seen it before, and more importantly, see things that they were perhaps overlooking as they were sucked into the day-to-day operations of the business. Now, as the business coach, it affords you the luxury of not having to have all of the answers. Your job is to become better and better and better at asking the right questions, and that is the challenge that you're faced with, is just the questions. And the questions are very simple. You simply go through a process of identifying some part of the business that needs to be explained. And oftentimes when they answer, this is the first time they've ever had to articulate that response. And in that response, just saying what they've said, they'll have epiphanies. And as you then ask for clarifying questions, that's interesting. Why do you say that? Tell me more about that. as they dive deeper with you through the questions you're asking, they're going to learn more and more about their business. You're going to be able to not challenge them, but ask why they make the decisions that they do. I'm curious, help me understand why you made this decision. Why did you choose to buy that thing? Why did you choose to hire this individual? Why did you choose to implement this technology or buy that program or buy that equipment? And all you're doing is just asking questions for them to kind of share their line of thought. And then you're going to dive a little bit deeper. Why did you do it now? Why not in 3 months? Why was this something you felt needed to take place today? All of these questions are simply just you asking questions. And then in that capacity, you can have a very influential role in their business. Now, in a business coach capacity, one of the things that you need to understand is you can easily be paid for your services as a business coach above and beyond the quality accounting services that you're providing. Your coaching services can range anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to $2,500 a month as you consider the role that you would like to have as their business coach. Now, there are a variety of programs out there that you can go through to obviously become a business coach, and I would definitely suggest one that I feel every accounting firm should consider offering, which is becoming a profit and growth expert. That one is a program that is sponsored by Universal Accounting Center that I'd like to just share with you very quickly as a sponsor of our podcast today. Becoming a profit and growth expert, it allows you to actually address the most common challenge that business owners face, which happens to be cash flow management. It literally is a program meant to teach you the tips and tricks that you need as their business coach to help them actually turn their business and take it from being in the red to being in the black. And in this capacity, you're actually taught not only how to market your services as a business coach, as their profit and growth expert, but also how to sell this service effectively, how to actually negotiate and get the engagement, how to price your services so that you can effectively be paid for what it is you're doing, and most importantly, give you the tips, the tools, the resources you need to then take them through the engagement, implementing various models and practices in their business that will actually turn them from being in the red to being in the black. So I invite you to actually find out more about becoming a profit and growth expert and seeing what you can actually do in your business as not just a mentor or an advisor, but literally as their business coach, complementing the accounting services that you're already providing. Now, let me come back to these definitions and actually kind of define them a little bit better to, if anything, just kind of put a capstone on what each is. We've looked at them so far in the context of you getting coached and then you providing these same services. So let's define these, and then I'm going to share basically some personal experience, or a personal experience that I think you'll appreciate. So let's start with the business coach, and we're just going to go back through the list down the line here. So with regards to the business coach, a coach is someone that helps you see what you or your team can't see by asking you the questions others are afraid to ask. Now think about that for a moment. A coach helps you see what you or your team can't see by asking you questions that others are afraid to ask. It's the perception. That is what's so valuable. They're not involved in the day-to-day operations of the business. They're able to step back and see things differently than you may be able to see. And so they're going to ask the right questions. The goal of the coach is to help to facilitate learning, focus, and results. Very clear deliverables. Learning, focus, and results. If you, because of your coach, you're learning things that you didn't see or understand before, if you're able to get greater focus on what matters most and literally get the results that you're looking for, change things, you're working with the right coach. Good coaches will help you clarify your goals, focus on what you need to do, prioritize, and find the best strategies for achieving those goals. At the very least, coaches provide some kind of skin in the game accountability system for you so that you can continue improving and moving forward. It's that accountability that allows you to then not just prioritize, but now get things done more quickly than you would have done on your own. That's hugely important as to the role of the coach, is helping you actually achieve things quicker and more deliberately. Now, coaches are trained in strategies for improving focus, asking the right questions, and generating proper results. So in short, this is what you can expect from a coach. It's short term. It's usually an engagement. Typically, the engagements I do with our clients happen to be 12 to 18 months. They're formal and structured, so they're meetings that have a specific date and time. They have an agenda. You're going through and revisiting what was discussed before. You're learning something new, and you're getting some actionable items that you're going to leave with. They're specific and measurable. So you're coming back and you're reporting back, here's what's changed. This is what's different. This is what we were able to accomplish. And coaching is performance driven. What you're looking for are results. That's a good coach. They're actually able to show over the last months or year, things have changed and improved. That's coaching. So coaching, in a summary, are first of all, great questions and accountability. If you've got those two things with the individual you're working with, or if you're offering those two things to the clients you have, then you're being a great coach. Let's go to consultants. Consultants, as we said, get paid to perform a task. So this is what we're looking at. They're leveraged to help you. That's what you're doing. A consultant helps you or your team get the results you're looking for by doing the work for you or with you to get the change or the outcome you desire. They work with you or for you. The consultant learns what you or your team is doing, then develops a new plan or outcome. They do the work for you so that you actually can have the time and resources to do other things because they have the time and the talent to do what needs to be done. Okay? Let's talk about advisors here. An advisor helps you or your team with an experience you are currently facing by giving you advice based on their professional expertise. They teach you a program. They give you a system or a process that you can implement. Now, the advisors, what they're doing is they're being paid to give advice, direction, okay? It's right in the name itself. Advisors advise. That's what they're doing. So they give recommendations, options, suggestions. You're meant to implement those, okay? So they're telling you what to do, and you go do it. Let's lastly mention here the mentors. Mentors, you're learning from being around them, as we know. A mentor is a coach, consultant, advisor who usually performs the function for free. And that's the kicker right there. They may have done it before. They may be asking the right questions. They may have good examples, things that you can do, but they're all doing it for free. It's nothing structured. It's nothing organized. It's nothing that's deliberate or planned other than maybe your monthly mastermind group. And what we're doing here is we're just gleaning from the opportunity to exist with them. The best way to think of a mentor is a role model. That's the easiest way to do it. So they're ahead of where you are. They've done what you've done, what you're trying to accomplish, and you're just kind of following behind, learning from them and avoiding the mistakes that they may have experienced with their advice, okay? They basically have all the attributes of a good coach, a consultant, advisor, but they're typically in a give-back mentality. They're trying to pay it forward. They've gotten some place in their career where they just want to give back. And so what we want to do is just recognize that they're doing this for free and we're benefiting from it. It's definitely a good thing. You want to have a good mentor if you can find one, but it's definitely not an advisor, nor is it a consultant, nor is it a coach. Now, the mentoring is usually long-term. It's a relationship. It's a friendship that's developed. It's very informal. And it's basically driven around the relationship being that you're trying to better yourself. You're hoping that through this interaction, I'm better today than I was before because of our friendship. And so that basically is a summary because they're helpful, okay? So I think now through this whole podcast, it's become abundantly clear who you are and which you need, and more importantly, which you can become for your clients. But the thing I'd like to end on with regards to coaches is, in the accounting world, I think this is truly the next or new horizon. For years, I've been attending conferences, and at all the conferences, they've been talking about how we need to be doing advisory services or becoming business coaches, and we need to be stepping beyond the accounting information, just providing financial reports, and really improve the type of relationships that we're having with our clients. And whether it's an advisory role where we have programs, workshops, things that we're teaching our clients that they're able to come and implement in their business, or truly we're becoming coaches for them, and through that engagement, having those one-on-one interactions where we're helping them dive deeper into their own business, become better business owners, better leaders, and so forth. This is a service that I think complements so very well what it is we do as accounting professionals. The idea that I shared with you a moment ago from our sponsor, Universal Accounting, of becoming a profit and growth expert is, in fact, in my opinion, the very specific bridge to moving from accounting services into advisory or consultative services. If you want to see yourself now being the expert, where you're seen as someone that can actually help business owners apply the information they're receiving from you in an accounting way, then becoming a profit and growth expert is the next step. It is that thing that helps you understand how to market consultative and advisory services and become a coach. It is the thing that helps you understand how to sell consultative, advisory, and coach services. And most importantly, it actually helps you become a coach for your clients, helping them with the most challenging thing that they're facing, which is cash flow management typically, helping them move from being in the red to being in the black as their business coach. So with regards to everything we've talked about today, I'd like to just share with you my experiences working with a coach. I shared earlier how I've had mentors that have a business vice president that oversaw our department and was very instrumental in helping learn management principles and such. I shared with you the scouting programs I was in for mentoring and the church programs I was involved in. All those are wonderful and great. Obviously, I've gone through numerous programs. I've paid for courses and learned excellent information. I've read books from people, and from those books have received great advice on how to do things better and differently. I've hired consultants, things that I either didn't want to do, didn't have the time for it, or felt that they could do it far faster and better than I can. But with regards to business coaches, I have had a business coach. I've worked with business coaches, and most recently, had a business coach that I was working with for a few years, and the business coach helped me in a variety of ways. We met on a weekly basis every Monday for lunch, and in those meetings had excellent conversations. But the thing I'd like to end with is a very specific experience I had with him that I think illustrates well my benefiting from that relationship. And what it happened to be is on a very specific day, I had a number of business decisions I had to make, some challenges I was facing, some hard, difficult decisions that needed to be decided and implemented. Some people were going to be affected by this in some ways negatively. And all these things needed to be decided in basically an immediate role. I had to make some quick decisions, and I was just overwhelmed. I just couldn't think straight. I just had too much on my mind. I felt like I couldn't think clearly. So I left work that day, and as I was driving home, I called my coach, and in that conversation, I just simply said, "Hey, can I just talk out loud? I just need to share with you some things. I have to make some decisions here, and I just don't know what to do." And these are discussions I can't have with my employees. I can't have it with my management team. These are conversations I can't have with my spouse. I needed to have a conversation with someone that I could trust, that was non-judgmental, someone that could provide me a safe environment. And my coach did exactly that. On that drive home, I was able to actually slow down my mental mind, and in an effort to articulate what I was feeling and what I was thinking, I had to slow down, and rather than everything in my mind, communicate one clear thought after another. I had to just be concise. Okay, this is what I'm dealing with. This is the situation. This is what I'm thinking. And what was beautiful about this interchange is the fact that he was able to ask questions of me. And through those questions, I had to articulate or answer my thinking and what I was doing. And it was through that interchange, that question and answer dialogue, that the answers started to come. I started answering my own questions. What was ludicrous or crazy became obvious. What was the smart and the right thing to do became clear. It was through that dialogue of him just asking questions and me having to articulate what was happening that I was able to get the answers I needed. And by the time I arrived home, not only did I talk through the multiple things that I needed to address and decide, but each of them individually was talked through such that I got the clarity I needed to make the decisions I had to make. That there was my coach being the great coach that they were. And understand again, he didn't have all the answers. He didn't answer any of the questions. He had the questions, and he then was able to say, so when are you going to do this? Are you going to do it tonight? Are you going to do it tomorrow? And I think it was very clear, obviously, with the coach, I needed to report back on each of these things. I said I was going to do it tonight. I said I was going to do it tomorrow. And he's going to want to know, did I do it tonight? Did I do it tomorrow? So now I had somebody I was accountable to. I couldn't procrastinate it. I couldn't say, this was such a huge thing I needed to decide, but I'll deal with it later. I don't want to confront or deal with it. No, it was a big deal. It had to be decided, and I need to do it tonight, and I need to do it tomorrow. And through that accountability, I got clarity of what I needed through the questions, and I got the accountability to make sure I got the darn thing done. And so working with a great coach, I can definitely say that not only have I benefited personally and professionally, but I've become even a better coach myself for my clients as I work with them through the engagements that we have. This is a wonderful way of taking your accounting business to that next level. It's a wonderful way for you when working with a coach to get the support you're needing to really step up your game. But more importantly, it's also a way for you to then also great coaching services to your clients and in turn get paid well for all the years of experience you've had now working with business owners and learning the business models that are so important for them to actually implement in their companies as they're running their businesses. All of us need to recognize that as accounting professionals, we have a role that we can fill that is far more than being a historical recorder of what's happened and paying taxes. It's more than just being compliant. It's literally now stepping into that role to help the business owners get the information they need to make more informed business decisions. And beyond just the information, it's now helping ask the right questions to help them see things differently, consider things that they may be overlooking, and make better business decisions in their companies. So I invite you to actually see what you can do in your business to not just leverage these resources in your company and get the help you need, but also becoming that resource and that help to your clients and generating additional revenue in your business offering these services. So as a quick recap, let me just kind of go through this right now. What we've got is being a mentor. I would definitely encourage you to consider what can you do to become maybe a member of a group, participate in an association, just give back. And through your success, just be someone that can be there to help mentor the next generation of people. I encourage you to join that Facebook group that I mentioned, Accounting and Bookkeeping Tips. That group is a closed group for accounting professionals where you can go get information and help in your own situations and more importantly, give back. The other thing I would encourage you to do is, as an advisor, consider, are there workshops or trainings that you could provide that would help business owners? Are there things that you can do where you can be perceived as the expert and more importantly, just kind of give back, but obviously get paid for the workshops and trainings that you're doing? Consider what programs you can go through and really step up your game to work on your business and what programs you can implement in your business to be more efficient, to actually be more profitable, to offer more services and get paid what you're worth. These additional services that you can provide, it's amazing what training you can go through, such as, like I was sharing earlier, the Profit and Growth Expert program, to add a whole new revenue stream to your business model and get paid for additional services that you're currently not performing today. The other is becoming a consultant. It's basically what could your clients pay you to perform a one-off and literally get paid to do a particular project. What are those things that you can do? And then what are you willing to pay someone else to do? And as a consultant, there are a lot of things that you can outsource. We're typically, as accounting professionals, obviously getting outsourced. That's what the clients are doing, is they're paying us as consultants to do the work. But what is it that you could pay someone? Maybe it's marketing or advertising, who knows? But the point is what could you be paying someone else to do that may be so much better than you? And then lastly, it's that of a coach. Finding a coach, somebody that can literally help you reach beyond your potential, do better and more than what you thought was possible. In fact, become the business that you intended to become. And then lastly, offering that same service to your clients where you become a business coach. Again, having the information you need to ask the right questions and hold your clients accountable. If you're doing that, then you're actually addressing all of these elements in your business. And in fact, being a mentor to those around you, being mentored by someone else that has achieved what you're aspiring to become, being an advisor, being a consultant, and last of all, being a business coach. So understand this. Accounting success is universal. These are things that I hope that you can actually see potential for you personally and professionally. So I invite you to definitely listen to this episode and the other episodes again. Go to the episode description, and I'll put there the information that you're needing as to how you can become a profit and growth expert, as well as to join the student Facebook or the Accounting and Bookkeeping Tips Facebook group that I had mentioned. And then lastly, subscribe. Definitely get the additional episodes as they come out as to what it is you can be doing to build the premier accounting firm in your area. So always remember this. If you'd like more information about how you can apply these principles in your business, you can visit us at universalaccountingschool.com, or you can give us a phone call at 801-265-3777. And always remember this, accounting success is universal. Why? Because accounting is universal. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.